Hello, everyone. This is Nate 82. I am writing a letter concerning the Greenland issues and the Venezuela things. Uh, and as I read it, I'll make it clear why that's the case. And this is my opinion based upon what I see and my experience as a veteran. But this is basically only my opinion. I have no actual proof that they're going through some of this. Some of it's actual proof that's covered in my sources, but some of it's just my evaluation of what's going on. Uh, this letter is formal request of congressional actions regarding unilateral executive actions in Greenland, Venezuela, and establishing non-oversight offshore accounts. Dear Representative, I am writing to express my urgent concern regarding the recent escalation of unilateral executive action that threaten our international alliance, bypass Congress for fiscal authority, and in place a massive financial liability on American taxpayers. I formally request that this letter be entered into the official record and read on the floor to alert the public dismantling of traditional oversight. This is one, Greenland, coercive, diplomatic, and threats to NATO allies. On January 17, 2026, Trump announced an escalating tariff regimen, 10% on February 1st, raising to 25% by June, targeting 8 of our closest European NATO and NATO allies, including Denmark, Germany, and the United Kingdom. These tariffs are explicitly conditioned upon the complete and total purchase of Greenland by threatening allies who participate in a routine Arctic defensive exercise like Arctic Endurance. The administration is prioritizing territorial acquisitions over the stability of the NATO alliance. This expansion of executive power through trade coercion sets a dangerous precedent for international law and sovereignty. 2, Venezuela, the test case and resource seizure. This is my opinion with some evidence, but not totally proven. The recent removal of Maduro regime and the subsequent seizure of Venezuela oil assets appear to be a test case for the administration broader agenda. The president has ordered the seizure of 30 to 50 million barrels of Venezuelan oil to be brought directly to the United States and sold at market price. This action was taken without clear legal mandate from Congress, effectively allowing the executive branch to run a foreign nation's and its resource indefinitely. Qatar account, bypassing the Treasury and taxpayer risk. Most alarming is the administration creation of a main account located in Qatar to house the proceedings of these oil sales, including the $500 million initial deposit. Reports indicate this account is outside the U.S. Treasury control. By holding funds in Qatar, the administration is bypassing the U.S. Treasury to avoid the prying eyes of Congress oversight and to prevent creditors from seizing the funds to satisfy Venezuela's $170 billion in existing debt. Controlled by yes men. Oversight is limited to the president and select cabinet members, specifically Treasury Scott Bissett, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, with no role in legitimate legislative branch. Guaranteed by Treasury. Despite being offshore, the U.S. Treasury is processing the licenses and effectively guaranteed these transactions, meaning it legally claims or infrastructure fails arise. the U.S. taxpayers will be holding the bag for the billions in liability. In conclusion, the combination of land acquisition threats in Greenland and the unmonitored management of Venezuela revenue creates a shadow budget that operates without the constitutional power of the purse reserved for the Congress. I urge you to investigate the legality of these offshore accounts and the use of the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, IEEPA, to bypass the law. Thank you for your time for defending the constitutional balance of power. Yeah, okay. This is what I'm sending, and I basically drew a parallel because of what he's doing with Venezuela, and now all of a sudden he's threatening to invade Greenland. I think Venezuela was a test case to see if he could get away with it without any flack. He basically did. They said, no, don't do that. That's all it was basically like your parent telling you, no, don't do something, but then not following through. But if he does it to Greenland, the problem is there's going to be follow through, and it's going to be NATO. And NATO is a force to be reckoned with when we're a single country going to be facing all of NATO countries. And if that happens, and with the way Russia and China have already spoken out against what he's doing, is another sign that we are on our own if he does this. So Congress, you need to act. You need to get him in control. You need to put the war powers brakes on. You need to stop allowing him to take over these countries, and you need to stop allowing him to do stuff unilaterally. He should not have any control of any money by himself. And to have the cabinet do it, and then all of a sudden, if you read the executive order, when he gets out of office, it reverts over to Congress. That's the part that really key in that they're doing this for nefarious reasons. Because if they were going to do the oversight, not care, and do it right, they would have already turned over power to the Congress. Why hadn't he? He is using that as an excuse. The problem is he's overstepping his bounds, declaring an international emergency that no one else has declared, and he's going to invade Greenland, saying the same thing, and there is no fear of anybody invading Greenland except for our president. China has already said they wouldn't do it. Russia said they wouldn't do it. They're not going to do it because the understanding is if they invade Greenland, they have to take on NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which is pretty powerful union. But he's going to bust all that down because he don't like the NATO agreement. He thinks we're being taken advantage of. If we are being taken advantage of, why is he going back and making the same deals? If the ACA is so bad, why are they using the same stuff that the ACA had originally before the Republicans took it out? That's the thing that I'm seeing. They're using the excuse that it's bad, it didn't work, but yet they distract you long enough to put it back in place with the same stuff after they make their money that they want to make. Call your congressmen, call your representatives, let them know how you feel about this offshore account and handling the Venezuela assets without oversight, and how you feel about the invasion of Greenland. Please make it known to your representatives. And on top of that, silent protest. Do not yell at them. Do not do anything. Just videotape quietly. If they come up and ask you anything, just don't answer them. Just say what. Don't say anything. And then when they act, they didn't get your permission. And we also need to find out what Congress is invested in so that we can stop using that stuff. If we stop using that, cut off Congress's funding, they'll realize we're serious. We need to cut off their funding. These boycotts aren't working like they should be. because the boycott should be getting the people the answer, but they're not seeming to work right. So let's work on that and actually get the Congress's investments so that they get hurt. Once they get hurt, they will help us. We need them to act because I'm holding all of them responsible because Democrats are not doing what they can to slow things down. They have procedures that they can do the same as the Republicans have used against them. They can use them against the Republicans. Stop playing by your rules and by the good gentleman's agreement. They are not doing it. Don't do it anymore. In that, if they get dirty, you have to get dirtier. Thank you for your time. Like, share, follow, and please remember, you are loved no matter what you do, and contact your representatives and let them know how you feel. Thank you.